Hi, everyone. Good morning. Distance learners, people who are in school, anybody else who is watching this video, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to run through what we are talking about on Monday/Tuesday of this week. And in other words, that would be the 22nd and 23rd of March, 2021. Now, before I say anything, before I start anything, please send me a message on Canvas if anything I say here or anything that's posted on Canvas doesn't make sense. My goal is to always clarify things, and I would like to apologize in advance if I take a little while responding to you. I'm working on it. So we are in Unit 1, Module 3 of our Ecology unit. Let's get started. So, like I said, Monday/Tuesday, depending on your class hour, we are beginning class with this do now question, which you will answer as a discussion question in Canvas. Think back to what we've already discussed and describe in as much detail as possible what is an ecosystem. Again, you will share your answer to this question in the discussion post posted in Canvas. An ecosystem, according to our TCI definition, is a group of populations of living things and the non-living parts of their environment that support them. So in a shorter way, we have all of the living and non-living things that are working together, living together in a certain area. I know this picture is blurry, but I think it's important to review our certain levels of organization of living things. So a quick reminder, if we start from the smallest, most specific, one single living thing we refer to as an organism. And this can be an animal or a plant. If we have a group of all of the same species of that living thing, for example, here we have antelopes, we would have a population of antelopes, all of the antelopes living in one specific area. Beyond antelopes, the population, we have a community. A community is all of the living things in an area. So this includes antelopes, zebra, birds, trees, grass, all of the things that are alive in one specific area. And when we get even bigger, when we expand beyond community, we have an ecosystem. An ecosystem is all of the living and non-living parts of an area. So in addition to all of the antelopes and the trees and the grass and the birds and the lions, we're now adding non-living factors like air, like water, like sunlight. Those pieces are critically important to forming an entire ecosystem. Now, our plan for class on Monday/Tuesday is this: the do now, which we just completed, an introduction on TCI. We'll take a look at some vocabulary. We'll review that vocabulary. And then your job is to look at a living interactions assignment on Canvas. Now, I'm going to walk you through each of these pieces. So if this seems like a lot, don't worry, we will get through it together. I put your evidence of learning in parentheses at the end to show if you happen to finish all of these things, you can get started early. But if you don't get there, please, holy goodness, don't worry about it. Now, we're going to kick off class by looking at a phenomenon. Here we have a video of some ants and an acacia tree, and we're going to see how these things are interacting. This will come up later in class. So I'm pulling this up. I'm going to go to the actual video, and we'll take a look right now.
If you're looking at an acacia tree, the story would be far more complex. The tree has special structures filled with oils and proteins for the stinging ants to feed on, and it also produces nectar that the ants drink. The ants bite holes into the large thorns of the acacia trees, and then enter hollow cavities that they use for nesting and raising larvae that will mature into another generation of ants with powerful stingers.
All right. So there we have an example of two organisms living together. We're going to focus a little bit more throughout class and with our vocabulary about what do we call this relationship and what are some similar but not the same relationships between two organisms. So remember, this will come up later. Let's move on to our next slide. So our introduction is a link to TCI. So you should have access through Clever to get to TCI and this reading. Now I'm going to show you quickly, but I will not read this out loud to make sure this video isn't super long. What I'm going to ask that you do is in TCI, you're going to read the introduction to interactions among organisms. This is going to hit you with a lot of the vocabulary you're going to explore, and it's going to serve as a foundation for what we will practice and learn this week. So you'll check out this introduction. I would encourage you to keep reading at least the next section talking about predators, because this is helpful to what we're going to learn. Now, once you've read those sections, I encourage you to get back to our slides, and you can get started on our vocabulary assignment. The vocabulary assignment pulls words, as I said, directly from TCI, and the assignment itself is linked in your slides and posted in Canvas. The assignment I'll open up here looks just like this. I encourage you to open it in its own window just so it's easier to see. Notice you've got instructions here, you've got space to describe and give an example of each of these words. Today we're doing lesson 14, but if you have time, feel free to jump ahead and do lesson 15 as well. Remember, when you are finished, you should press the blue submit button, which should show up right here in Canvas, because if you don't submit it, I can't see your work and then I can't record the points you earn. In class, we're going to go for about 15 minutes with, of course, some rainy coffee shop ambiance, and then we will see in 15 minutes if we should keep going or if we should move on. Let's see here. We've got vocabulary. Quickly, I'm going to review these vocabulary words for you. The first word is predation. This is the relationship where one organism, the predator, benefits by eating another organism, the prey. Looking at this example, we can see the alligator here is the predator and the fish is about to be prey. Sorry, fish. A carnivore is the organism that mainly eats animals. Here we can see a lion eating some sort of dinner and a chameleon working on getting some food as well. An herbivore is an organism that mainly eats plants or plant parts. Here we have cows and a koala. An omnivore is an organism that eats both plants and animals in similar amounts. Many humans are omnivores, though not all. And here we have a monkey, which is also an omnivore. Mutualism is a relationship between two species where both species benefits. Here we have some fish and turtles, and on the other side, we've got a hummingbird and a flower. Think about how each of these organisms can benefit and their relationship. When both organisms mutually benefit, that is mutualism. Commensalism is a relationship between two species where one species is benefiting and the other isn't getting any benefit, but they're not getting hurt either. Nothing really happens with that other species. Here, we've got a horse and some birds, and on the other side, we've got a whale and some barnacles. I encourage you to think to yourself about which species in these examples is benefiting, which species is unaffected, and if you were really curious, I encourage you to do some research on your own. Parasitism is a relationship where one species benefits at the expense of the other species. In other words, one species gets benefits and one is harmed, but usually not killed. Parasites would include tapeworms or fleas on your pets. Finally, those are some of our vocabulary words, but let's think back to the video we watched at the beginning of class, or the beginning of this video. We saw the connection between ants and the acacia tree. Your job is to silently think, what kind of relationship exists between the ants and the tree? Would it be mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism? Now, for our people in the classroom, you are going to show me a silent vote. 1 would be parasitism, 2 would be commensalism, and 3 would be mutualism. For my folks who are watching this at home, our distance learners, I trust you to consider it on your own time. Some think time. And mutualism. Because the ants are getting food and shelter, and the tree is getting protection from other organisms, both species benefit, which means this is an example of mutualism, a relationship where both species mutually benefit. If you have time, or if you are interested, take a look at this article from National Geographic about the relationship between ants and the acacia tree. I'm talking fast. I'm talking at you for people in class and for distance learners. Take a moment. Let's breathe. Wow, that feels good. Okay, let's keep going. What we're gonna wrap up class with today is your instructions on how to complete the interactions assignment on Canvas. Just like vocabulary, this is posted in Canvas, and this red underlined text is a link for you. I'm gonna give you some quick instructions, and then for people in class, you'd work with a partner. If you're not in the building right now, you're gonna do this solo. If you have any questions, make sure to send me a message on Canvas or email or however you prefer. I'll be happy to get back with you as soon as I possibly can. Now, I'm opening up this video this assignment for you right now. Your instructions are here. There's a lot going on, so please let me know if you have any questions or any confusion. And finally, in our slides, I have a note about what is a reliable resource and what is not. Please let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, that is it.